The following talk was given at Mile High Church in Lakewood, Colorado. Please visit our website at milehighchurch.org.
So the great sound of the longhorn, thank you, Nawang, just to bring forth that experience of that light. And the light I'm speaking about today is that spiritual light, but the solstice is about a cycle. It's about a circle. And Dr. Ernest Holmes said that all of life is one big circle. I remember the first time I ever had the opportunity to go to Machu Picchu. Top of all the structures and the beautiful designs there is a sun temple. And at that sun temple, they have the measurement exactly where the sound of that horn or that light of the solstice comes forth. So for thousands and thousands of years, the solstice has been celebrated. It has been acknowledged. And our indigenous individuals, and I feel that we are all indigenous to this earth, and for us to be indigenous to this earth means that we have a plan going forward for Grandmother Earth. But the indigenous individuals, thousands of years ago, maybe 6,000, could go all the way back to 30,000 years ago, the solstice was celebrated. Can you imagine living outside? You know how it is in Denver, Colorado, in the mountain areas. It's very, very cold. And the days are very, very short. So why wouldn't we celebrate when that beam of light would come forth and we realize that we are moving towards the light? In the cycle, we were moving towards springtime, where we could plant the seeds, or moving towards the summertime, the fullness of consciousness. And sometimes we, city folks, we forget that. We forget that we are a circle. And there's different points in that cycle that speak to us. At the great west in the circle speaks of transformation. Think about when the sun sets. Change. And when the winter comes in the north, the stillness calls to each one of us, moment by moment. And then the great east, new beginnings. The sun has come forth. And the south represents that place of full consciousness. And Ernest Holmes, our founder, he said, "The light is not greater than the darkness, nor has the darkness any power over the light. By merely bringing in the light, the darkness vanishes into its native nothingness." So the dark doesn't mean evil or bad. It's just part of the big cycle. We make it evil and bad when we stay stuck in invalid ways of thinking and being. We could say, I'm in a dark place. And I recognize change takes place for each one of us. And that's part of the West energy of the big cycle. It's about change. It touches us all. But we must all remember that there's something at the very center of who we are that never changes. And that is that divine light. That is that divine spirit itself. So the light is important to each one of us. I found an old story about two old sages, and they had spent their whole life building a spaceship. They wanted to fly it to the sun. So they called NASA, and they finally got through to some of the scientists. And they said, well, we have this spacecraft, this ship, and we want to fly it to the sun. And of course, you can imagine on the other end, why did we even answer this call? And they said, well, you can't do that. And they said, yes, we can, because we're going at night. So I think so many times that that little story has meaning to us because perhaps we are the spaceship, the relationship to life. And we spend our whole life building who we are or who we think we could or should be. And to recognize that that divine light has always been there. And we're going to move towards the sun. That sun is that divine light. I know in Peru, they talk a lot about the sun. And many of the indigenous cultures do because the sun came forth and warmed them. The sun came forth and grew the seed. So it's not like worshiping the sun, it's understanding the sun. And then in our religious beliefs at this time of year, whether the Blessed Yeshua ben Joseph, Jesus was actually born on the 25th of December, I just give thanks that he was born, whether it was springtime. But you can see, I think Dr. Michelle a couple of weeks ago talked about this time of the year, the dark and the light. So getting back to our relationship with who we are. We are that divine light. We could say that we are that Christed light that has always, always been. So there's a beautiful saying here. It says that nature remembers what we humans have forgotten. Every cycle must return to stillness. To be still and know, I believe this is from the Bible, to be still and know that I am God. And I say that with great humility. That is the relationship, that inner relationship. And I can fly that to the sun. I fly with the sun with that. It's interesting that, I don't know why I'm speaking about Peru so much today. I learn a lot when I go down there on trips. And what I learned was that some of the shamans or medicine people, ministers, teachers, many, many years ago when the Spaniards came across the land and demanded that everyone be of their walk of faith, that a lot of the Incas went to the high mountains, some of them 22,000 feet high, and they stayed there. They stayed there with prayer, they stayed there with wisdom, they stayed there with humility, and held great wisdom. It was 2006, that's not that long ago, that they came down from the mountains because they were told they needed to share what they had been beholding. And what they have shared, the Munike writes, is about who we are as light. We are light beings. So this solstice time, the season of great light, and I'm just knowing that you will come to one of the candle lighting service to actually light a candle. And when you light that candle, to see your reflection in that light. So nature, one of our greatest teachers ever, I give thanks because nature, golly, it's just amazing. And some of you have seen this in some of my classes, that there's devices now coming out of France and Italy where you can hear a plant sing or a tree sing. I was sharing with a friend, and she said, oh yeah, I have a good acquaintance that lives in Italy, and the forest just gave a concert. Now you're going to think I'm crazy. This is true. The forest just gave a concert. And in the sacred forest, there's a fence. Because the forest only wants to have people there that believe and that are respectful. And the people started noticing that the fence would be locked, and no human being had locked it. So they observed that. And it was the energy of the forest itself that locked it and only allowed certain people in. So I said, tell me more about this concert. And these are reliable people that are telling me this. And they said, yeah, there was a concert. So they must have had all these different devices that could touch the leaves or the trees or whatever. And they said, and by the way, there was a guest singer there. I said, well, who was that guest singer? And you can go on the internet and find out what I'm telling you is true. It was Julie Andrews. Her voice has come back. And she's really into that connection with the light. And she sang with the forest. Everything you are, everything I am is the light. So I want to just close, and then I'm going to invite Nawang to come forward. And I just, sharing from my little book, I Only Walk on Water When It Rains. It is raining from the heavens, and the earth is open, and drinking in the sweet nectar of the sky. Remember, feel your connection with the earth and sky. Be humble, and be not afraid to walk upon the water. You will not sink into the mud, but you will become one with the earth. See your cosmic reflection within the mirror of mind and breathe from your fiery heart of living union. We are a part of it all. We are all related. So speaking about an individual, I call Nawang forth, who lives every day from a place of heart, every day from a place of compassion and a place of joy. There you are. Come on out, Nawang. His gentle strength and his beauty.
May all be kind to each other. Thank you. Beautiful Mahai people. And I think I've been coming here more than 20 years. And I love your community people. And today I've been given a few minutes to talk about my book, Awakening Kindness. Actually, it's a book. In Tibet, there is a culture of training the mind and heart called bodhicitta, universal love, universal compassion, and universal responsibility. So I was able to meet His Holiness Dalai Lama's one of the principal teacher called Kundulamar Rinpoche. He wasn't monk, but he is a lay person, but he never marries. He's lived like a monk. No sex. Sorry, I was monk too. I gave up my monkhood. You know why? Anyway, I have a beautiful wife. You will see her in the other place a little bit after a few minutes. Anyway, so this bodhicitta training, this His Holiness Dalai Lama's principal teacher, one of the principal teachers, Kundulamar Rinpoche, when I met him, I was able to ask him few questions, and he gave me some teachings also. And he told me that in Tibet, eastern part of Tibet, Kham, where I was born, is a warrior tribe. Actually, Khampas are known as the warrior in Tibet. So, in the mountains, there are some hermits live and meditate for 10, 15, 20 years only on bodhicitta. There's many aspects of meditation they can do, but these hermits in the mountain, they meditate only on bodhicitta, means universal love, universal compassion, and universal responsibility. So as they meditate 10, 15, 20 years, they can cultivate this beautiful heart of universal love and compassion. So when they can cultivate such a heart, you love all humanity. There's no national boundary, there's no religious boundary, nothing. No status, what do you call this? Social status. But you love all humanity, okay? And able to love all sentient beings who live on this earth or in the universe, countless universe. To love all beings, to have a compassion to all beings. So when you cultivate such a heart, then what happens is even the animals who live around the mountain, they also become fearless. They also become like a family dog, cat, They hang around this hermit's door. So, usually when someone is very kind and compassionate, that person, everybody really loves that person, right? And in a family member who is the kindest person, everyone wants to hang around that person, right? Not the nasty one. So that's how it is. So kindness, compassion. One of the beautiful training of the mind is to understand deeply how everyone is also like me, want happiness, don't want suffering, right? So to realize all other human beings are like me. So because of my nature is such that I don't want suffering, I want happiness. So therefore I try to get as much as possible that brings happiness to me, right? Try to avoid the suffering which brings suffering to me. So likewise, you try to do the same thing to all humanity, all sentient beings, right? Then your life becomes so beautiful that even one day you age and many wrinkles, and those wrinkles also become very beautiful because you smile beautifully, so kindly to everyone for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. What that going to make your wrinkles? Very beautiful, right? Really? I have seen beautiful ladies with beautiful wrinkles. So it has aged beautifully, see? And when we die, we can die very beautifully because you can feel I have lived a very beautiful life, being kind, compassionate, loving to everyone who is around me, right? So you will be surrounded with many beautiful, good friends when you are leaving this earth. We all have to leave this earth, right? No choice. This is one of the no choice one. But you can live beautifully, right? Everybody will remember you so beautifully, right? So, being kind and compassionate and loving is the most beautiful treasure in life, the most beautiful thing we can find in our life. Okay? Please be kind to each other. I chanted, may all be kind to each other in the beginning. Now this is my prayer, prayer of kindness. But it is endorsed and blessed and chanted also by 10 of the Nobel Peace Laureates around the world. So I met one of the few minutes ago, one of the Mile High people. Oh, your husband. He told me actually he used, what he does? Therapy something? Yeah. Something he does. So he said he been using this, may all be kind to each other. So you can use that, okay? Morning, you can hold your partner's hand and say, may all be kind to each other, looking into each other's eye. It's a good way to start the day. Okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's good to be here with you. Profound respect for Nawang. I want to say thank you to Mahai Church for always inviting me here to be a part of this Solstice program. I'm very honored always to be here, to be amongst you, and to share stories with you from my heart. And so I'm very grateful for that. Mahai Church has carried us in many ways, and through that, we have helped many people. So again, I say thank you and much respect to Mahai Church, Patty, and everybody that makes this place such a powerful place to come, welcoming. That's what I love So I always make my home that way. I do my best to always make my home that way. To always make it where somebody comes in, they're welcome, they feel loved, they feel good. That's the first thing that I always try to do for my home. And so when I come here, that is one of the things I love coming into this place, welcoming. As all coming out here and doing these programs to share a piece of my history, our history, and to combine them and to understand our relationship together and how we are no different. We're all in this big hoop of life. And so somewhere, somehow, we're connected. Even if you live on the other side of the world, somehow, something will connect us. And I believe in that. I believe in that power. And that power is one of the things that I've learned about the power of light. And the way it moves into your body, into life. I was in prayer one time in a ceremony. And inside this beautiful sweat lodge, we were in there. And there was a man sitting in there crying, having a hard time. And so we were praying. And he verbalized himself. And all the things that he had done wrong. All the things that he was done to people. He felt so bad. He felt that he didn't even feel like being there. I don't even want to be in here. I don't even deserve. I'm going to get out. And I stopped him. I said, no, sit down. I said, we're going to sing a song together. We'll sing a song for you. And so we sang a song. And in that song, a spirit came in. And you can see it turn into the blue light. And it went over the stones like this. And as it moved, you can feel the love and the gentleness. And it went up. And it went all the way around, above everybody. And then it went directly to that man. And it landed on his chest. And the Spirit said, I can only see your light. We're not here to judge you. We're here to pray with you. We're here to guide you on this life, to stand you up, to help you fulfill your commitments in this world. And that's why we're here. So when I heard those things, when I heard that, I stood there and I wondered, I want to tell that story. How can I tell it to people without? So when you talk to logical and linear people, how do you explain that to somebody? Sometimes you can't. You just have to let them feel it. And those are the things I've learned about the power of light and how it touches you and how it flows through your body and how it knows every number of your hair all the way down. And to make that connection like that and come out into the world and to connect with people. How do we explain those things in life? When we have those profound epiphany moments, and sometimes we ask for answers, either through prayer, through question, through thought, and all of a sudden that answer comes, and you're, how did that? Or somebody, you meet somebody. This is the connection that we have, the power of the sacred hoop of life. And in the middle, there's a blue light, they say. And it shines up to the Creator. And all the people sit around it. All people of life. There's no back row seats or side. Everybody's sitting side by side, front row seats. And they're all sitting there looking at the light. And the light's coming from their chest. It don't matter. They're sitting in the circle wherever you're from. All sitting side by side. And when it hit the blue light, the light went straight up. And I realized the power of that creation. And where we're going and how we're going to get there. But in this world, we need each other to get there. We need to share our lights with each other so we can pick each other up and continue moving in this beautiful world.
Thank you for listening to the Mile High Church podcast. This podcast is made possible by the generous contributions from listeners like you. If you'd like to make a donation, visit us at milehighchurch.org.